talk about getting that early lead and you being part of that with that solo homer.
Yeah, getting an early lead is always, ideal. I think it lets you kind of relax and just play baseball. And it's always nice to get the first hit out of the way, especially when it's a home run. So.
Are you a guy too that once you get that first one under your belt, you become a little more dangerous at the plate because you can relax a little bit? And if so, how would you explain that?
Yeah, I think so. I think you probably get a little bit more confidence, like you said, you have that first one under your belt, so you're not just really worried going up to the plate or thinking about it as much. You're just hitting and relaxing. And usually, when you're relaxed and confident, you play better anyway. So, probably ought to take that mindset even if you're 0 for 1.
You and RJ both at the top of the lineup hitting over 300. I mean, just how important is it for you two to kind of set the table knowing that you got guys like Luke, Logan, Hunter coming up behind you?
Yeah, well, for us to score a lot of runs and win some games, I think it's ideal that me and RJ kind of set the table, like you said, and have good at bats, and try to get on base as much as we can for those guys who drive the ball well and drive in a lot of runs.
Recently, you made that move out to the outfield. I know you played a little bit out there in the preseason. Are you starting to feel a little more comfortable, getting some games in the outfield?
Yeah, for sure. I think my first 2 starts out there, I only got 1 ball, so I didn't really get to get my feet wet as much. But Auburn hit me a few balls, so it was kind of nice to catch some balls and make some reads and just kind of get comfortable out there.
RJ's a guy too. He is responsible for a lot of souvenirs in the field, whether they be home runs or foul balls. I don't know if there's anybody that fouls off as many pitches as he does. How important is it to have a stubborn guy like that at the top of this order to kind of, number one, give you pitches to hit, but also, two, a guy that's going to get on base?
Yeah, well, it kind of makes the pitcher work, and I think right from the get-go, the pitcher knows what kind of lineup he's facing. I think Mississippi State has always kind of been a gritty lineup, and especially trying to fill a hole like Rowdy, last year, who did a phenomenal job, obviously. I think RJ's done a really good job, and he's going to make you work for it. He's not just going to give you an easy at-bat.
You played alongside him a lot in the infield. What's it like kind of watching Lane, take the mound for you guys?
Yeah, it was weird at first, but I knew he was a good pitcher in high school, so I'm confident in him going up there. And he's got a little funky fastball. I think he's got some sink to it, so, I enjoy watching him pitch.
It appears that the lineup and the defensive lineup are kind of settling now. There'll be some platooning at short, but how important is it, now that you get in the second half of the year, to kind of have those things settled, maybe where guys maybe can get a little more comfortable?
Yeah, usually this time of the year it starts to settle a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's just guys know when they're coming to the field playing every day. I think it gives them a little more peace of mind and a little more, comfortability, like you said, and they just can come out ready to play and kind of knowing, that they're going to be in the lineup.
Coach Lemonis has said how this team has kind of handled the rivalry with Ole Miss well, through the recent years. I guess, how do you guys as players balance, not trying to do too much because of who's on the other side, but also understanding, what that rivalry means to a lot of people in the state?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a mixture of, you respect them because they're a really good program, and you respect the players on the other side, but at the same time, you kind of know what the rivalry brings, and I think there's a little bit more, passion when you go play them, especially for a guy like me who's grown up in state and was recruited by both teams. So, I think you just kind of get a little more amped up, but at the same time, you respect them, know they're good, and you have to bring it.
And does it add any importance? This is the second half, so first series, the second half of the SEC schedule. You want to get off to a good start, and it just so happens to be a team you're very familiar with.
Yeah, so and for a club like us, we need to get off to a good start here at the second half. We need to win games. We need as many SEC wins as we can get from here on out. And starting off against them would be huge for us. I think beating them always gives you a little bit more momentum just because you know how big of a series that is.
Jack, it's been a few days since you've been back on the mound in a ball game. How did it feel to get back out there, and how would you kind of assess your start tonight?
Yeah, it felt great. I've been waiting for an opportunity to go out there and hopefully try to start doing a little bit better than I have been this year. But I felt pretty good about it. Control still could be a little bit better, but overall I felt good.
Obviously, you mentioned the control there. It's been an issue throughout the season, but I guess, this outing you go out there and you don't allow a run. I guess, what were you kind of thinking? What was the approach to, get into some trouble but be able to work out of it this time?
Yeah, well, this time I kind of had I had a breaking ball this time, and that's something I've been kind of struggling with throughout the year is not being able to have a slider or a curveball. So, when I go out there, it's just fastballs and they can put it together. But this time I actually had a breaking ball to be able to play off of.
You're you're a guy too that might actually be pitching more than they originally planned because of some of the injuries on the staff. But what's it been like being a freshman this year on a team and a pitching staff that's been a little bit up and down?
I mean, it's definitely a lot different. I had to really get used to it because, I mean, out of high school it was a whole lot easier, and there's so much stuff here. But it's just hopefully we can just keep going out there and doing well.
What's that like for you as a starter to get 6 runs in the first 2 innings from your offense?
Yeah, it's very relieving. It makes it a lot easier to pitch.
When you think about pitching midweek, is eventually the plan is for you to be a midweek starter at some point in your career. How important is it to just simply get on a college mound and be able to compete against college hitters?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, no matter who's on the other side, like, it's just good to be able to go out there and compete and start building up some confidence.
You're a guy too that surrounded by some really good pitchers. Maybe who are some of the guys that kind of taken you under their wings and maybe helped you prepare for these moments?
I really do a lot of talking with Preston Johnson and Parker and Casey. They've helped me out a lot, and Jackson Fristow has too.
What kind of things they tell you?
I mean, just not to go out there and make it a lot bigger than it is, and just just think a lot about how I did in high school and don't try to blow it out of proportion.
What's that like for you, I guess, coming from high school and then playing at Duty Noble Field in this environment, things of that nature?
Yeah, it's a big jump. I mean, just looking up, just try not to get too amped up. Just try to let the crowd help me, not hurt me. And that's kind of one thing that I had to get over with after my first appearance, and then after that, I've kind of done a little bit better job with it.
What's it like for you pitchers to see Lane go out there and toss an inning for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he has been a pretty good pitcher before, but definitely would like our pitchers to throw. But he's a good pitcher.